Hey Savvy people, it's Savvy Nick here, and today we are going to do some bash shell scripting with user input. We'll take some information in from the terminal, and then we'll be able to process it inside of our script to our liking. This helps if your script needs information from a user to make specific decisions on what will be executed. If you need help setting up a new shell script, make sure to check out the first video in the series, and we'll talk about what bash shell scripting is and how to create and run your first script. Alright, let's get into things now. I'm going to go ahead and start up a terminal, make it a little bigger so we can all see. Let me change directories to where I was making all my scripts. So in documents here, and let me create a new script, and I'm going to call it user input.sh. All right, in the first line, we're going to go ahead and add in the magic line that tells the bash processor that this is a bash shell script. So we do hashtag !user bin bash, or wherever your bash program is located. And now I'm going to go ahead and get some user input. The easiest way to get user input is through a tool called read, and all that read does is pauses the console and allows a user to input some string text. If you're new and stopping by to watch a shell scripting video today, please make sure to subscribe below and hit the notification bell for more scripting videos. And let's talk about a few of the switches that you can use with read in order to get user input. So the simplest one is just read itself. So if you do read and then you type in some variable name behind it that you want to create, so let's just call it name for now. What's going to happen is that the terminal is going to read the user input and put it into a variable here defined as name. So we can echo out that name in order for it to be displayed. So let's go ahead and give this simple script a shot. So if we do Control X and then go ahead and save the script, so I first have to make it executable here real quick. And now I'll be able to run it. As you can see, we have a blinking cursor that's telling us go ahead and put something in. So I'm going to put something like test here and press enter. And as you can tell, the terminal just spit back test status. So that means that our script worked. So let's go back in and check out what else we can do with read. Well, another thing you might want to do is use, so this one was a read with a variable name. Let's do read with a -s and then a variable name. What does that do? Well, all that one does, if we go ahead and put the -s switch in, is read in a user's input silently, meaning it won't display the characters as they're typing it in. So silently read in characters, chars for short, and this one is just read in characters until enter or carriage return. Same here. All right, we're going to save, exit out of here, rerun our user input script. As you can see, we have the blinking cursor again waiting. The console is currently waiting for us to go ahead and enter in a command. So let's go ahead and do that. The terminal is waiting for us to go ahead, and the script is waiting for us to go ahead and type something in. So you can see I put in some random characters, FKSDF, and that's what came out, but it didn't show it as I was typing it in. That's because of the -s script. So let's go ahead and look back at this. And if you went ahead and made it this far, please hit the like button. It really does help me out. So because of this -s switch, we are able to read in characters, but not display them while the user is typing them in. So it's a nice one to know. So if you're reading in passwords, -s is a great way to go ahead and do that. So let's try another one out. And this one's going to be read-t and then a variable. So this will read in characters, but with a timeout. So if we change this -s to a t, and then following that, we actually have to put in some kind of specification for how much time can elapse. So let's just put 5 here for 5 seconds. And I'll also put this up here as sec for seconds. And let's give this another shot. So if I run the script, we're waiting 3, for 5 seconds, and now that the shell script did not get any kind of user input, it went ahead and canceled out. So let's rerun it again and put something in like hello, and you can see that it did get hello and read out hello. Back to the user input shell script. Read with the -T switch is great if you don't want your script to wait for the user's input forever. Instead, you can go ahead and just exit out of the script and tell them that there was an error. All right, so let's go ahead and explore a few more switches here. So there's a -N switch, which takes a parameter, number of chars, meaning number of characters, which will read in characters until you get to a specific amount. So let's go ahead and try this out. We'll just change this -T to a lowercase -n, save it, and let's give it a shot. And now, if I type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters, you can see that the program stopped and then it spit out the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters to us. So it's great to use this if you're specifically expecting a certain amount of characters from the user. And one final one that's worth mentioning is the read-D switch, which asks for a delimiter and then where you want to store the variable. So this one lets you set whatever key you want the user to hit in order to accept the user's input. So change key in order to accept user input. So let's give that one a shot. So here, if we say that the user has to hit the exclamation point in order to go ahead and give us their input, then we do it like this, and let's go ahead and save this and give this a shot. So I'm going to run that again. And now we'll just do hello, and then I'll put an exclamation point. And as you can tell, as soon as I gave it the exclamation point, it went ahead and processed what the user input, and we got hello spit out back to us. All right, and then back into our script. You can also use a combination of switches. So if you wanted to, you could silently read in all the characters with a timeout if you wanted, and use a entirely different key instead of the carriage return or enter key in order to process the user's input. All right, let's just clear everything out real quick and we'll start over again. And if that variable is not empty, so if we use the -N, we'll do something else and end our if statement. Thanks for supplying a input. Otherwise, we're going to say echo no input was detected. And since we don't have forever, let's go ahead and add the -T and how many seconds we want to wait. I'm going to wait 5 seconds for this variable var. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Let's give it a shot real quick. So I'm going to put in nothing right now, and we should say no input was detected, which is great. We did that. And now I'm going to put in savvy Nick and enter. And now it says thanks for supplying an input because it read something in. Let's go back in and change the read in order to put another switch in. So this time let's go ahead and read in the input without you being able to see it. So we'll put the -S switch. Let's save it and rerun. So now I'm going to type in savvy Nick again, and it says thanks for supplying the input, but you didn't see what I put in. And let's just let it hang out here for 5 seconds, and you'll see that we exit out with no input detected. Awesome. If you want to read in multiple variables, you can always just reuse the read command. So let's just do read first var, and then this is var2. So var1 here, and we'll say if var1 is not empty, do that. If var2 is not empty, then we'll do something else. How about we just echo out what var2 is? And end our if statement. That looks like it should be good enough. So all we're doing is if our first variable is not empty, then we'll echo this out. Else we'll say there's no input detected, and then we'll check our second variable and make sure it's not empty. And if it's not, then we'll just echo out what it contains. All right, save that. Let's rerun one more time here. And I'm going to put in Savvy Nick. Now the script is waiting for my second user input since the first one was caught silently. So I'm going to put in something like testing and then press enter. And as you would expect, it says thanks for supplying input to our first one and then testing for our second one because it just spit out what I typed in. And of course, if we wanted to go ahead and read the var2 in at a different time, we can do that as well. So let's just move it down the script somewhere else where we can read it. So we can read in var2 here instead of up top. So we'll first process var1 here in this if statement, then we'll process var2. var1 says thanks for supplying an input. Now it's waiting for our second var2. So this is variable 2. And it spit it back out at us. Great. All right, and I hope you enjoyed this video on how to read user input with a bash shell script. And I hope you now understand how to use some of the switches available to read. And this should get us well on our way to being able to read user input and do something with that user input. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions in the comments section below. Also, make sure to subscribe for future videos and make sure to like the video. Thanks for watching.